Got it.
Hello and welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. I'm Liz.
And I'm Brian.
And today we are joined by Charlotte from NZ Shores Immigration Advisors, our favourite immigration people advisors ever.
Ever.
And she's going to be talking to us today about the parent visa.
Boost.
The parent boost visa boost. It's going to be boosted.
It's boosting
That's all you need to know.
Yes,
it's going to be boosted.
Put it this way, it's so much better. That's why they're calling it the parent visa boost. And if you're over here in New Zealand, you're an NZ Ahead resident. Well, yes, you can be an NZ Ahead resident listening to us all the time. But if you're a New Zealand resident, you can apply for this. Or if you're a citizen as well and you want your parents to come on over.
Yeah.
And apparently it's going to be from 5 to 10 years as well.
Yeah.
That's how long they can stay on this visa.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say how long they can stay on this planet then.
Yeah, how long they can live longer if you live in New Zealand, honest.
So we're not going to mess about giving you our garbage and our bubbling on. We're going to jump in and give you to a real professional. But before we do, don't forget that Charlotte is part of our NZ Ahead community over on Slack. She's got her own channel over there in immigration. Honestly, I can't tell you how many people reach out to us and just say, it's brilliant that you can just message her. She's there giving updates.
Yeah.
Just like a little private.
Yeah, but it just means
extra.
if you're having a bit of a sticky time or you've got a point that you need sort of clarifying, she'll reach out to you.
Yes.
And if Charlotte won't, Fabian, who is from NZ.
I know, we always forget about Fabian.
Yeah, because we've just done a podcast with him, haven't we, as well? You know?
Sorry, Fabian. Yeah. He's really lovely.
It's just about to come out that podcast as well very soon.
So yeah, don't forget that Charlotte is in our Slack group and you'll hear her talking about that later on in the episode. If you haven't yet joined up for our free 5-day video guide, which are 5 days of free videos highlighting, showcasing some aspect of life in New Zealand. They're absolutely brilliant and they're absolutely free. And if you take those videos on day 5, when you get to day 5, we'll tell you more about how you can become part of our NZ Ahead community and join us, along with Charlotte and lots of other people who are making their dream of moving to New Zealand happen. So to get to those free 5-day videos, you can go to
www.nzahead.com/free or www.nzahead.com/free.
Yes, jump on over there, get those free 5-day videos, and you too can become part of our community. Right, let's jump on in and listen to the lovely Charlotte talking about the boosted visa.
Boosty visa.
Got it.
Welcome to the NZ Ahead podcast. Everything you need to know about moving to and living in New Zealand.
There's a whole world here.
So nice to be with you again.
We call it Aotearoa around here, bro.
You'll be right.
We are your hosts, Liz and Brian.
Amazing New Zealand in the southern seas.
See, that's where I belong. That's home.
Charlotte, welcome back to the podcast. Thrilled to have you with us as always.
Thanks so much for having me again, guys. I love joining you and your community.
And we've got some really exciting news. Exciting, especially for us, because this is all about rejoining families together. Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking about the parent boost visa. So we're going to jump straight into it. What's going on?
Yeah, so the National Party, who are one of our main parties in government at the moment, campaigned on this really heavily around last election time. And we are a year and a half into their term, and we have finally just had confirmation that this is actually coming. So they announced it as part of their immigration initiatives. The Parent Boost Visa is a really great option, and it's going to be incredibly popular. That it will be initially a 5-year visitor visa for people who are citizens or residents of New Zealand to bring their parents to New Zealand for that 5-year duration. It will be 5 years initially with the ability to extend up to a maximum of 10. So you can potentially have your parents here for 10 years without actually having to apply for a resident visa. We've been waiting for information to come. And like all good government departments and politicians, they love being tight-lipped about things. So the Minister has confirmed that it's going to be in place by November 30th. And even though we don't yet actually have policy on it, we've kind of done a bit of homework and a bit of guesswork as to what it will look like. So we feel like we've got a good indication. But obviously, whatever we talk about today, I do just want to say we haven't yet got the policy as of we're recording this started June 2025. So we haven't yet got the policy. Everything I do discuss today is a bit of guesswork, but it is an educated guess based on similar visa types and similar visa types for New Zealand, and then similar visa types that Australia have as well. So again, I think we can catch up again once the policy is released, but I think it's a really good time to kind of get the news out and have a chat around what it might look like for those who want to bring their parents to New Zealand.
So there's already a parent visa out there, isn't there? So let's start off with what is the difference between this one and the other one?
Yeah, so we have done a video on this. So if anyone wants to go look that up, you can find that on Liz and Brian's channels. So we have got current parent options. They are really hard to get. So in the residency space, we have a ballot system under the parent category. They only select 500 people out of that ballot a year. So there'll be thousands of people in that queue trying to get residency under that process. So that's really hard. Our other parent category is what we call the parent retirement category, and it is investment based. So it is you have to have $1 million New Zealand dollars in investment funds, plus another 500,000 to prove you can support yourself, plus a guaranteed annual income of 60K a year. So that in itself is quite hard to meet because not everyone can meet that financial threshold. And then we kind of only have visitor visas outside of that, which can allow you to kind of stay in the country for a maximum of 18 months, but that 18 months has to be generally spread across a 3-year period. So we haven't got anything that kind of keeps parents here for a longer term without getting residence. So this is, like I say, plugging the gap. You're probably going to hear me say that a dozen times today, but it is plugging that gap between those shorter term visitor visas and those residency visas, which are really hard to obtain.
Right. So it now means that, first of all, so they only allow 500 applicants for the parent visa. Wow, that's not many, is it?
Tiny,
that's not
isn't
many.
No, and there's I don't know what the official number is, but there will be thousands of people in that queue. So it's very hard to get.
And this is so important because we've talked about this before, but the biggest thing, well, for 99% of people coming over, the biggest thing when they're moving to New Zealand is they want to know that their parents can come over, or that's what we always hear. Is the grandparents and the parents. So how has it made it easier? What is it extended the time they can stay there before they have to apply for residency?
Yes, you don't necessarily have to apply for residence, but it will give people initially a 5-year visitor visa. So you can't work, you can't claim any government pensions. You likely, and I say likely, won't have access to healthcare in New Zealand. So there is the probability that you'll either have to pay a healthcare levy to the government or you'll have to hold private insurance. So it is very much a visitor visa, but it is a long-term visitor visa. So initially 5 years, and from what the government has signalled, and much like the option that Australia have, you will be able to extend that for a further 5 years, which will allow a maximum of 10 in the country. Whether you have to be in New Zealand or outside New Zealand to apply for that visa, we don't know. Australia dictates that you have to be outside New Zealand outside Australia when you apply. But then there has been suggestions from Treasury, for example, here in New Zealand, that you should be inside New Zealand when you apply. So we don't know, but ultimately you could have your parents here for 10 years on visitor visas without having to apply for residence. If you do obtain residence within that time frame, that's absolutely fine and great. That option still remains, but it just means you can keep them here for a longer period of time, I guess, while you wait for residence, or in the hope that residence process is going to get easier.
Okay. So you need to be a resident to get your parents over here, at least a permanent resident, or a citizen. So how do you go about it, or who does it? Is it both?
Who applies, you mean?
Who applies,
Yeah, so I think it will be similar to a lot of other visas we have where the New Zealand citizen resident or child will be a sponsor. So you will have to be able to demonstrate that you actually live in the country. The version we have in Australia dictates you have to earn median wage. So they could bring that in here as well, which means you probably have to be earning roughly about $65,000 per year for one parent, and then that would obviously increase as you add parents. Whether or not you and a partner can sponsor a total of 4, we're not sure. So these are all the little nitty-gritty bits that we're not quite aware of just yet. But the New Zealand resident or citizen child will sponsor the parents. I guess you can submit on, your parents' behalf, but the application will be made, effectively your parents are the applicants. So they will be the person who, we're doing what we call principal and secondary applicants in the application. So you can do it on their behalf. It's just you have to put all of their information into the forms and documents.
So I've got a couple of questions. So is there like an age limit for the parents? Do they have to be like under a certain age or?
Not that we're aware of at this stage. So much like the parent category, there is no age threshold that you have to meet. So I think any age thresholds will be attached to children. So generally, as a sponsoring child, you'd have to be 18 years or older to sponsor your parents. But from what we can gather, and like I said, based on similar visas offshore, there is no lower or upper limit in terms of age for a parent.
Okay, and the other question I had was, and I know we've talked about, again, like we have talked about this in depth, the parent visa, so you can go back and listen to that. I'll link to it below. But they have to have money? Do they have to prove? I know that the children have to have like the median wage and stuff, but do the parents have to bring in? Do they have to bring in a chunk of money as well?
Whether they have to prove that they have a certain amount of money in their bank account or whether they have to prove that they have, a pension coming in is again yet to be decided. So it could be either. I would expect that they potentially may leverage it off largely the child that's in New Zealand because the child is acting as a sponsor. But if they do bring in, a financial threshold attached to the parents, my guess is that threshold is probably lower than that 60,000 that we see across the parent retirement category, just because 60,000 when you're on a pension can actually be quite hard to meet. A lot of our UK and US based clients don't have issue with it because a lot of those older people have great private pensions which top it up. But if you're relying solely on government pensions,
you are here because you love New Zealand, just like me and Brian. And me and Brian made it our reality of moving over here. We arrived in New Zealand in 2009 with 2 small children, and I tell you what, hardly any information to our name. We came over here with no resources, no contacts, we knew nothing. One night while we were sitting around the fire when we got to New Zealand, we said, wouldn't it be great if we made something for other people in the same situation as us that gave them everything they needed to know about moving to New Zealand? And that's just what we did. We started a community of people, of like-minded adventurers from all over the world who are making their dream of moving to New Zealand a reality. This community is made up of 400 beautiful souls, each one bringing their own story, their own needs, their own information to our community. And I just love it. I tell you, it's just the best community in the whole wide world. If you would like to be part of that community or get to know more about it, then you can take our free 5-day video guide that we offer. This is a video guide that Brian and I created, showing you some aspect of life in New Zealand every single day. There is nothing like this on the internet. You won't find it anywhere else. It's brilliant and it's unique and it's free. So sign up to those 5-day video guides, and on day 5, I'll give you more information about how you can join our beautiful New Zealand community. Sign up now by going to www.nzahead.com/free. That's www.nzahead.com/free. Get to day 5, see all about our community, and I hope to see you on the other side. Okay, let's get back to the show.
which top it up. But if you're relying solely on government pensions, it's a lot lower than that generally. So again, yet to be decided. But I think, given it's such a long-term visa, someone is going to be able to prove that they've got the funds to support, whether it's the children showing they've got funds to support the parents or the parents showing that they've got some form of income coming in to support themselves.
It's so exciting because like 5 years. I know 5 years is a long time, but it's not really. When you think about up in your life, leaving where you are, you know, what we're going to do with the pets, what about the house? But 10 years, it really makes it worth it, doesn't it?
Yeah, it
You
does.
know,
Because,
like 10 years is a
especially
long time.
if you've got grandkids, you know, and they're like
Yeah,
7 years old, and then you're going to see them come right the way through, or, you know, 3 or whatever it is. And that 10-year period then, at least you get to see them growing up, don't you?
Yeah.
And I guess it brings support, right? So, you know, most families with young kids rely on grandparents to help with babysitting or during school holidays. So it means that it's actually, it's going to make life easier for migrants. And if we look at it from an economic lens, it's probably going to make migrants be able to contribute more to the New Zealand economy because they're going to have that family support to actually help, you know, raise their children rather than perhaps people only deciding to work part-time or not work at all, or, you know, kids end up in daycare full-time. So it's definitely going to, you know, it's going to bring a lot of value, I think, not just to migrants, but to New Zealand as a whole.
Yeah, and just also a lot of value to the happiness of the country. That's what New Zealand is all about, is family and keeping family together and
like work-life balance.
Yeah. So I think
we preach about that, don't we, down here? Like everyone wants work-life balance, but it's pretty hard to achieve if you're here doing it by yourself, really.
Yeah. And they won't be able to claim any benefits. So, what about that? What about the health thing? Again, I know we've talked about it on the other one, but let's just cover that again. What about if they've got health issues? You know, like that.
So they will, and this is a bit of an interesting one. So the government have, and I have tried emailing the immigration minister to try and get more information, but she was also very tight-lipped. So that is one thing that they are having to work through with policy is, one, the visa could be quite expensive. Like if we look at the Australian option, for example, it is about 11,000 Australian dollars to apply for, but part of that does include a insurance levy. So that could be the same here, where part of your fee to the New Zealand government when you're applying for the visa actually kind of pays for almost like a private insurance, which then gives you access to the public healthcare system, if that makes sense. Probably sounds a bit funny. Or if we do look at, for example, the temporary retirement visa, which isn't actually a parent visa, but it does require a person to hold private insurance, that could be an option as well. So if we look at that as an option, then you have to be able to prove that that insurance will cover you for up to $500,000 per year. And there are options, can be quite hard to get just because obviously with age and pre-existing conditions, but it will be one or the other. So the government will want some reassurance that these people, because they are older, and as we get older, we all end up with health concerns, right? That they're not going to be a demand on the healthcare system. So that is one thing, that you will still have to provide a medical to immigration because it is granted for more than 12 months. So you are still going to have to meet health and character requirements, I guess, just to make sure that we don't have parents turning up and then immediately going into, you know, aged care services, because New Zealand is kind and we're never going to turn around and say to someone, no, we're not going to help you. But so they will want some parameters in place to make sure that that's not going to happen.
That's good to know. Yeah.
So have you had, this is just me being nosy, but have you had like a like real big serious interest in this since you, because I know you wrote about it on the Slack group. What was it like? Yeah.
Yeah, we have. So we've had about half a dozen signups already since we did post that. There are people who are keen but are very much wanting to wait till the announcement comes from government, and that is absolutely fine. I get it, because there are still a lot of ifs, buts and maybes, but we are guiding people through, like I said, based on educated assumptions of visas which are of similar length in New Zealand, plus, you know, alternatives offshore as to what those documents will look like. So yeah, we've had some signups and we have had a lot of interest. We've posted it on our website as well, which is now showing in the top page of Google. So we're obviously getting quite a few people. So that does show that people are Googling it and are looking for that information. I'm in a bunch of Facebook groups too, not only your community, but I just kind of keep an eye on what's happening out there. And there's a lot of people posting who are basically saying we really need this because our parents can't get residence under any other category, and this is the next best option.
And sorry, Brian.
Although, so this is just a good thing to clarify, is like you've had sign-ups, so that means you can get all the information together. So as soon as they do press the button, as in Immigration New Zealand, everyone's ready to go, bump, there they are. So you're first in the queue sort of thing. So it's a good idea to sign up now. Yeah.
If people are willing to work with us on the basis that we don't know everything at the moment, yes, we are definitely taking sign-ups. Our goal for people is that we kind of have you 80 to 90% ready so that when policy does come, hopefully there's only a couple gaps we have to plug. Look, if immigration do basically regurgitate what Australia has, we shouldn't have any gaps to plug. We should have hopefully covered it all. But we do really want people to be ready for their own sake and not just ours, because it's going to be popular, which means there's going to be a lot of people submitting applications. So the sooner you can be ready to hit go, the earlier you're going to be in that queue and the faster that visa will process. Immigration processing times slow down when there's a large number of applications. So we could quite easily see this being something that goes from a few weeks to process to several months just because there's such big demand.
And just to be clear, they can't, if I'm living over in the UK now thinking, I tell you what, I'd like to move to New Zealand. Actually, Mum and Dad, you could move with us. You have to already be in New Zealand as a resident to apply to bring your parents over, don't you?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. And also, I'm not going to let you get away with this. You've just had some fantastic news about your company. Tell us what the university that you were talking about. Tell us, because you're going right up there now. We're in with the best, right? We're in with the absolute best.
Yeah, we've had a very, very busy period here at New Zealand Shores. So we've had 3 really big initiatives kind of kick off all at once. So things have been a little bit crazy. So if you have emailed me there last week, I am sorry. I'm taking time to get back to you. But we have officially partnered with the University of Waikato here in Hamilton to be their preferred immigration consultancy. So that's been really exciting. And then we've also partnered with a public health organisation that work with about 50 odd GP clinics throughout the North Island. We're their preferred immigration consultancy as well. And we've also partnered with a really, really cool job search website called Zeal. So I will do a little plug on Zeal while we're here. Zeal is looking to take over the other major platforms for searching for jobs. And one thing that is really cool that I think a lot of migrants are going to benefit from, and I'll get Liz and Brian to drop the link down below to their website, is companies can actually list if they're open to hiring migrants. So you can actually go through their filtering process and they have a little option that says visa sponsorship. So you can click on that and it will actually bring up companies that are happy to go through that visa process.
Brilliant.
That is something that Seek and Trade Me don't do. So I was playing with it yesterday actually, and there's a lot of jobs on there. It's been set up by the Mowbray family who own Zuru. So if you've got kids, you've probably heard of Zuru Toys. So they've got that big powerhouse behind them, which means they've got lots of great business connections and they've managed to get a lot of big New Zealand companies listing roles on there. So it's really exciting. And we're really excited for our clients too, because it's just going to take away that uncertainty of, oh, look, I'm applying for a job, but I don't know if this employer is open to hiring me. So yeah, it's been a big couple of weeks for us.
Well done you. You absolutely deserve everything that you get. Quite right that you are top immigration advisors up there in New Zealand. You know, we've always said this about you. Just don't ever forget us because we had you first, really, Charlotte.
Yeah. Oh, you did. And don't worry. We love you too. So,
but just on Zeal as well, they're a fantastic company because I remember our kids would do concerts with them and things like that. So it's great for young children and not children, but you know, they're brilliant.
I know who you're talking about. That's ZEAL.
It's a different Zeal.
Yeah, so it is slightly different. Okay. Yeah, sounds the same, but slightly different.
It does. Yeah.
I must admit, I thought it was Zeal. Yeah. The same thing. I was like, wow, they've
really expanded.
No, slightly different. ZEIL.
So before we let you go, is there anything we haven't covered that you need to say that people need to know about?
I don't think so. The main thing is we know it's coming. So government have confirmed it's coming. The minister has confirmed it will be live by the 30th of November 2025. So we are really only a few months away. It will be popular. So if that is something you are interested in just even having a conversation about, please do reach out. Like I said, we can't advise on all of the policy because we don't have it yet. But if people are happy to bear with us, we can get you mostly ready while we, wait for it to come. And then we're hoping to jump on it as quickly as possible. So approach it with an open mind is probably the only thing I would say. But we expect it to be a lot easier to get than that parent category visa. And we expect it to be open to a larger number of applicants as well. So it is a really, really exciting thing. And it's probably going to be one of the biggest new visa categories that we've seen since the 2021 resident visa that we had in 2021. So it's really exciting times for migrants.
Do you know, whenever you say, oh, it's coming, they said it's coming, I always, in my mind, I know this is a bit weird, but I always imagine this little train coming down this track, like with carriages on it, and each carriage has got a different visa, and it's like, oh, it'll be here in a minute, and we're standing on the station waiting.
You're at the platform.
Exactly.
That carriage is here.
I know, it'll be here soon. Charlotte, thank you so much. For those who haven't listened to any of our videos before, I want them to know that you are part of our private NZ Ahead community. You have got your own channel on Slack over there. We've partnered with you for a few years now, and we can't say enough about you. We absolutely, you deserve everything, every award and every, like I say, top notch that you can get. But for people who haven't joined our Slack group yet, Charlotte is in there, and you're very, very active. I really, really appreciate everything you're doing over there, because it's an added bonus having you there. It's fantastic. So,
and just
give you guys a plug? I mean, you've just given me a plug, but I'll give you guys a plug. So, I have had a number of clients actually recently talk about how valuable being part of your community was. Basically, they've made friends before they've even arrived, and they've found a group of people who are going through the exact same thing they are. So you guys are amazing at what you do. Your community is great, and it's actually really helping to provide connection with people who are in the same boat as you going through this process. So I will also say, if you haven't yet joined the Slack community, go and do it. You won't regret it. Not a single one of my clients has come back and said to me, I wish we hadn't. They've all said, we're so glad we did.
Oh, thank you. That's really kind and warms our hearts. Fantastic. Yeah.
And just give us your email as well.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Sorry. So my email is charlotte@nzshores.com. If you haven't heard back from me, so I have actually had an issue recently with some of those emails bouncing into my junk folder. If you haven't heard back, you can also reach us at info@nzshores.com. That seems to sometimes be a little bit more reliable. I do try to check my junk folder, but if you haven't heard back, please do prompt or contact us through our website, and I'll definitely get back to you as soon as I can.
Okay. And of course, we'll leave all the links in the description below. So the next time we speak to you then, maybe the train will have pulled into the station.
I hope so.
And we can be having a look in the carriage.
Yeah. And hopefully we can give a bit more concrete information. But look, as soon as I know, you guys will know.
You're on top of it. It's absolutely perfect.
And hopefully in that carriage, Mum and Dad will pop out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, how exciting. Okay, Charlotte, thank you so much for joining us today. And we'll speak to you when they give you the next update.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. See you later.
Bye, Charlotte.
Thanks, Charlotte. See ya.
Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast this week. We have loved having you here with us.
If you love this week's show, please share this with your friends. Send it to anybody you know that wants to think about moving to New Zealand, and get on over here yourself.
Tell them how brilliant it is as well. And also, if you haven't signed up for our free 5-day video guide showing you what life is really like in New Zealand, then go over to the website and sign up. You are missing out. This is brilliant. Go over to www.nzahead.com/free, and we will send you 5 days worth of videos about what life is like in New Zealand. You are going to love it. So one more time, that website that you need to sign up for the free 5-day guide is www.nzahead.com/free. So we're going to see you next week. Until then, have a great week, and we'll speak to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Say bye, girl. Bye.
Bye.